Welcome everyone. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Let's sit tall today and start just finding stability as you arrive to your seat. Ground the hands on top of your thighs and invite the elbows to move back a little bit so they are moving towards your trunk. And as we enter the practice today, closing the eyes gently, bring your eyes downward towards your lungs and invite the weight of your bones to release, letting gravity pull those big bones, heavy bones down. And also we bring awareness to the lighter bones in our body, like the skull, the sternum, which are lifted, inviting the heart to stay open, releasing the shoulders over the hips. Then slowly start creating more awareness into the rise and fall of your breath. And invite a gentle movement of the air through the nostrils. And as we keep the awareness into the breath, we also stay aware to the thread of the moment. And today, as we bring the spirit of compassion and joy into the practice, we give ourselves an opportunity to use this physical practice to move away from suffering, to release attachment and aversion. The things we get to cling to that bring suffering. As we move through our practice, we have an opportunity to observe and release. Like I've been sharing this week, a chance to empty our cups with compassion, with reverence and gratitude for those experiences, sometimes pleasurable, sometimes painful, that came our way to be part of our spiritual journey. And we let our bodies be the vessel for this awareness. And we hope for all beings to move also away from attachment and aversion, to move away from suffering. Let's bring our palms together, resting the thumbs in front of the heart center. And a reminder that we want to bring a quality of luminosity and lightness, like your awareness, into this practice. Take a moment to set an intention for the journey today. And you may even visualize yourself moving through the journey with this intention, listening to your body and acting accordingly. If you want to join me in opening with the Om sound, inhaling deeply first through the nose, we go. Then a big exhale. Then breathing in again. then we connect the head to the hands and the heart as we usually do, the three together, mind, body, soul. And we release the palms, lifting the head, opening the eyes. Welcome again and thank you. Let's move on to our mats. Oh, well, I'm moving to my mat. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to do today is a seated position. If you want to have a blanket underneath the sitting bones, you can add the blanket. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Just cross one shin in front of the other. So it's what we call Sukhasana, or easy seated posture. And we'll do a few movements to start opening chest and side body. So you can start any way you want to go first. I'm going to go towards your right, my left. And we're just going to place the forearm or the hand to inhale and open the opposite side up and over, and then move to the other side. So inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. A couple more, inhaling. Just keep the breath flowing in a fluid manner. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly like I'm going, but find the one that feels appropriate and try to just combine that. We'll add one more each side. Good, and then we come back to center and we release. Good. From here, keep the legs as they are, then we'll change them. I'm going to do a movement that is mainly with my shoulders. And what I'm going to do is to send one shoulder up towards my ear and then release it down. Then I'm going to change the opposite side. I started on my right, but then release. Good, and again, one shoulder up, doesn't matter which one, and then release. The other one up, and then release. One more each side, up. I'm trying, I don't know if you can see, to leave the other shoulder when I'm going, relaxed, and then back. Now we're going to play with both at the same time. So I'm going to try and send one up, one down. I'm going to start on your right, so it's easier perhaps. So I'm doing one down, one up, and then switching, one up, one down. Good, and again, one and the other. So now it's both, right, at the same time. One and the other. And again. Don't create extra tension in the neck, okay? It's just trying to activate more of the upper back and the shoulders. One more each side. And then release. Roll the shoulders now like we tend to do many times in class. A few times going first towards the front, right? Or towards the camera. One more. Good. Keep the skull moving up to the ceiling and then switch, going the opposite way. We go back first. Two more. Good. Super. Now release that. Another move. We are going to bring the arms in front. I'm going to put my palms together. And the movement here will be like this. I'm going to try, let's start with the right hand for you guys. So what I'm going to do is to try to lengthen my right hand towards the camera. So that arm is going a little further and I'm not bending my elbows. And then I'm coming back. And then I'm going with the opposite arm, extending a little further. I don't know if you can see, but I'm coming towards the camera and then back. So my elbows are not bending. So I'm forcing my upper back and my shoulders, my shoulder blades to move and then back to neutral. I'm again sliding one arm forward and then back. Again, sliding and back, sliding and back. Two more. Sliding and back. Sliding and back. Beautiful. Let's release the arms here for a moment and switch the cross just for a little bit. And now we sit tall. Extend the arms again in front of you. Interlock your fingers. Check which thumb naturally went on top. For me, it's always the same one, so I want to remember, so then I can change it. And then I'm going to press my palms away from my body. And I'm going to also stretch the base of my palms. So my wrists also stretch a little bit, the knuckles of my fingers. And then from there, I'm sending the arms up towards the ceiling. Feel the stretch in the sides of the body. Push the palms up. Inhale here. Exhale. Let the shoulders go up. Head in line with the spine. Good. And then exhale and release. Beautiful. Last one, we bring the arms again in front. And this time, as you lace your fingers, remember which thumb was on top and put it under. So it will feel kind of funny or unusual. And then again, we are going to press the palms away from the body. Pressing, so we open the wrists, the knuckles, and the palms. This is done in Iyengar yoga a lot, this cross and this activation of the arms. So we are opening the shoulders, we open the chest, and again, we press up towards the ceiling. And notice if the front ribs are popping out a lot, see if you can tame them a little bit and bring them in and down towards your belly button. Keep pushing through the palms. Head in line with the rest of your spine. One more breath. And then exhale and release. Good. Shake it a little because I know we are firming there. Extend the legs and just shake a little. And I'm going to show you a setup that we are going to do today to work the upper back. So for today's practice, I'm going to use for me a block, and I'm also going to use the blanket. And I'm going to show you how we are going to place it. I just want to make a little extra space good, so I can show you. So what I'm going to do is to place my block flat on my mat. I'm going to do something. I'm going to put my head this way, and you want to make sure wherever it is that you're setting up your stuff that you have space to send your arms overhead, okay? So I'm going to put my flat block like I'm showing. It's horizontal. And then I'm taking my blanket, and I'm going to fold it, any blanket that you have, of course. I'm folding it, and it can be like the usual fold, like it's like double, or it can be a third fold, so you could do 3. What I'm going to say about the third fold is that because the blanket is going to go on top of your block, that will make it a little taller. So it may be a little bit more intense into what we are going to do. So it can be 2 or 3. So that's what I'm doing for now. If there is no block at home, maybe a box or a couple of books, you can put 1 or 2 or 3 blocks, books, one over the other, and then you put the blanket on top, okay? What's gonna happen here is that after I have this set up, I'm going to sit in front of it, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with the legs in a moment, but I want to show you what I'm doing first here. Wait, let me just move this away so you can see my arms when we take them there. Good. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set the back of my chest into that setting where I have the block. So it's not in the mid back where the kidneys are, it's not in the lower back, and it's not all the way in my neck. It's exactly behind the chest where the shoulder blades are. So first I'm going to do that. And when I do that, my shoulders will be out of that block or that setup. And they are out in a way that I can take my head down. And that's why I said if the blanket is too tall, maybe it will be a little too much for the neck. For me, in my body, because I'm used to these shapes and opening in the chest, my head touches and I'm okay in the neck. But you may want to add a pillow. You see how I'm lifting myself? So maybe you want a pillow or an extra blanket behind the head if you need it, okay? So this will be the setup for now. My shoulders are almost touching the floor, but they are not. And my arms are able to kind of like be dropped to the sides, as you can see. And then I'm going to also work on sending the arms up and over. What I'm doing with my legs once you came here is that I'm going to cross them like if I'm doing the cross leg position. If you remember which one was the leg that you put last, then maybe you can switch it. If not, it's all good. Okay, first thing that we are doing here once you got to the shape is take a deep breath in. This you may feel already, it's very much an opener for the chest, for the sides of your chest and lungs. So we are letting just the breath be there so we can expand and make more space. This is also very beneficial or helpful for the rounding in the upper back, which creates neck pain, okay? So we stay here for a few moments, and then we'll do some extra work as we stay in this shape. We are going to stay for a little bit. Take another breath, steady, smooth and long. Try to deepen that breath through the nostrils. For me, it's a little harder because I'm talking at the same time, but try to find that rhythm for you. Good. And then the first exercise that we are going to add here is to send the arms overhead. For now, I have my palms facing each other, and I'm extending through the fingertips or fingernails, okay? If the position of the legs feel uncomfortable, which I don't think it should be because I chose a shape that it's pretty like comfy, but you could also test on extending the legs if that feels better, okay? Sometimes that feels a little stronger in the lower back for the because it's a back bend, but just saying in case. Okay, from here I'm going to keep extending through my arms. I'm going to try and feel that length that I'm creating coming from the waistline. So my arms are starting more or less where I have my hips or the waist, and I'm lengthening from there. I'm getting a little longer through the sides. Now I'm going to change a little bit of the position of the arms by letting my palms face up towards the ceiling. It doesn't feel like it's much, but it's on purpose. So you keep the palms facing up and you extend the fingernails and the fingertips away from the head. Take another deep inhalation here. Exhale. Good, and now one extra that I'm going to add here, if it's available and possible. What I'm going to do, keeping my palms facing up, I'm going to curl, so I'm going to send my fingers to the floor. I hope you can see it. And I'm trying to kind of like curl my fingers underneath my palms. It's like if I'm pushing a wall behind me or a baseboard. Imagine I have a wall and I'm touching my palms to the wall. It would be kind of like when we do a handstand, right? And the palms are like this, like on the floor, but we are trying to bring them to an imaginary baseboard or wall, okay? So that's what I'm doing. You'll feel a little bit maybe more activation there or more burning. I'm trying to press through my wrists, and I'm trying to push my fingertips down to the floor. So we keep stretching the arms. Feel a little bit of that action of the shoulder blades moving into one another. Inhale here. Exhale, and one more breath. Good, then we are going to release the arms, and we stay in the same position to extend the arms to a T letter, okay? You'll see mostly my left side because the right one is hiding, but I'm also close to the wall, so it's a little tougher for me. So I'm going to show mainly with this arm. What I'm going to do first, it's a little exercise where I'm going to extend that side that it's closer to you guys so you can see it. I'm going to extend that arm away from my body a little, like if I want to move my shoulder blade away from the midline, and then I'm going to return. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side that you cannot see, but same idea. I'm going to extend or try to move my right shoulder blade away from my spine, let's say, or the back of my chest, and then bring it back. And then again, with the left side, I'm lengthening it just a little bit, right? I'm trying to just extend away from my body and come back. Aha, hello. And then going with the right side and back. One more each side. I'm extending one arm to move that shoulder blade. Maybe it's like 1 millimeter, and then back. And then the same thing for the opposite side and back. Good. I'm going to keep now my palms facing up, and we are going to add another exercise. You can see it, like I said, mainly on my side that it's closest to you. What I'm going to do with both arms at the same time is an external rotation. So you see how I'm trying to bring my palm all the way back and down towards the mat or the floor, sorry. And the same thing I'm doing on the other side. So I'm externally rotating the arms that will In turn, open the chest a little more and keep extending the arms and the fingertips away from your body. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Last breath, one more. Inhaling and exhale. Good, then release the arms. And we're going to stay here just for one other moment. Bring the palms to touch above your nose or above your neck. And the last one I'm taking here, I'm going to keep my palms touching each other and my arms straight. And I'm going to move both my arms to the right as I'm bringing the chin to the left. It's not extreme again, okay? And then I'm coming back to center, both arms straight to the left, chin to the right. Back to center, both arms to the right, chin to the left. Back to center, both arms to the left, chin to the right. Back to center, last one, both arms going one way, chin to the other. And back. Both arms, chin, opposite side. Back to center. Good. Release the arms. Oops. Put both feet on your mat. Extend one arm and roll over to the side. And slowly press up towards the seat. Good. Take a deep breath because this is big. You may feel like the sensation staying in your body, right? We were opening the chest and the upper back for some time. Good, and I'm going to keep the setting. Don't take it out yet because we're going to use it again. So don't take it out, but before we go into that setting, let's come into the hands and knees. Just move a little bit away from the setting and bring your hands under the shoulders and the hips over the knees. And we'll take 3 cat-cows like we regularly do. So we inhale, opening up the front of the spine. And we're going to stay a little longer in the exhale because we were doing like the opposite shape a lot when we were with the setup, okay? So bring the navel in, widen through the shoulder blades, chin towards the chest. And then again, inhaling, opening up, exhaling. We stay a little longer, draw the navel up, round the upper back, push the mat away, chin in. Last one, we inhale. And then exhale. Good, we return to the tabletop. And now I'm going to use that setup again. For this setup, what I'm going to do is I'm coming closer to the setup. And what I'm going to do is to grab the sides of my mat. We're going to go into downward facing dog. And this setup will be my support for the crown of my head or the hairline. I want you to try and use it as much as possible. Maybe you need to add a second block to lift that setup a little, or a second blanket, or maybe do the blanket a little higher. I know that for me this setup works, so I'm gonna leave it there, but you make it as tall as you need, okay? And it's just a support for the hairline, like I said, or the crown of the head, so we can lengthen and gently feel that support there without crashing into it, okay? I'm going to grab, like I said, the sides of my mat and moving my knees a few inches behind my hips. And I'm going to also widen my feet like I regularly do when I start down dog. And I'm going to tuck my toes. I may need to adjust my setup because I never know exactly where my head is going to land. But then from there, I'm going to lift into down dog. And I'm going to keep the knees bent for a moment as I find my way into that support. I'm pushing the mat away with my hands. I'm grabbing, right, gripping the mat, but pushing it away. Relaxing the head, feeling that support there without crushing my neck. And then slowly, I'm going to either pedal the feet one at a time, a few times if you need, before the full extension of the legs. And then when you feel ready to go with both, try to bring inner heels down to your mat, towards the end of the mat also, not only down but back, lifting inner arches, drawing the pubic bone up, ribs down towards your hips, and hip bones towards one another. Releasing the head, letting the nape of your neck become long. Take 3 breaths here. Softening the skin in the face, inviting the contents of your brain to move south, releasing with gravity, toning the quads and the kneecaps to support those legs, and sending that sacrum as high as you can towards the ceiling. Good, then slowly bring the knees down and sit back for a moment into your heels. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take that blanket out, and I'm going to use my block for the Virasana shape, and I'm going to say, before we come into the full sit, I want you girls to take the belt and make a loop, okay? So medium, then we'll adjust it when we get there, I'll show you. Okay, so this is what I'm going to have. I'm going to use it in a little bit, so no worries, I'm going to wait, but just have one like this and put it on the side. Okay, this is the beginning. I'm showing sideways so you can see what I'm going to do, and then if I need to turn, I'll turn. I'm going to put the block, 1, 2, or blanket added if you need it, in between the heels, and I'm going to sit in this supported Virasana shape, okay? This posture is a posture that it's really beneficial in the body, but it's intense in the knees if you have knee issues, of course, right? So you want to always be mindful of that. Like I said, it can be that you add extra height if you can bear with that. Some people use a blanket in between the legs, like I'm showing, and then it gives you more space in between the knees as well. But for some of us, this may not be approachable at all. So you can always either do one leg at a time, or if not, cross your legs in front of you, okay? Super. From here, the first thing that I'm going to do as I'm sitting in this shape is to bring the arms in front again, interlock your fingers one more time, press through the palms, and again we lengthen and we lift. Push through the palms, lengthen through the arms, and bring the ears in line with your upper arm bones. Notice if the ribs are moving out. See if you can bring them in a little. Draw the navel up towards the nose. Inhaling. Exhaling, we will release. And this time we're going to place the fingers behind the lower back. We're going to roll the shoulders back and extend the arms behind. Lengthen through the back of the skull, chin of the chest. Breathing in and out. One more breath. Shoulder blades are moving down. Good, and then release. Beautiful. Now we are going to take our belt. That belt for now, what I'm going to try and do is to have it shoulder to shoulder distance apart. Okay, so shoulder to shoulder. That's more or less the loop that I have. And check this because it's a little bit of a tricky thing. So once I have it, what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to use it behind me. So I'm going to hook one arm behind. It's like I'm lassoing myself right above my elbow so I can bend my elbow. And then I'm going to put the opposite arm as well. So I'm showing so you can see how it's like right behind me. And it's like right above my elbow so I can still bend them. And I'm kind of like breaking into the belt, right? Make sure that you don't put the buckle on your skin because it hurts. That happened to me yesterday. It was not fun. Okay, now that I have that, you can reseat, right? If you got out of the seat, and you'll see how as you do that, it's already kind of like forcing me to keep my chest open, right? Because my shoulders are moving back and I'm like breaking into that bend. What I'm going to try and do now, watch this, is to fold over a little so I can put my hands behind me as high as I can. Sometimes it goes into the waistline, sometimes it goes a little lower into the hips, sometimes it can go a little higher. The more you can go forward, it will give you a little bit more of a chance to go a little higher, but don't break yourself, okay? Once you have that, you're going to come back towards the seat that we were before. So now the belt is not letting my elbows move away from each other more than what I have them, which is shoulder distance, right? Or more or less, give or take. And then my hands are helping me push my chest forward and up. I'm also trying to send those shoulder blades down, okay? So mainly we are creating a lot of opening in the chest, right? And we are creating a lot of lift in the spine. And this shape that you are feeling in this moment that you're doing, if you think of it, it's very much what we try to do when we are in a bridge pose. And it's also very much what we try to do when we are in a wheel pose. And it's truly a very good exercise to practice a shoulder stand, which is the exact shape that we want to create when we're in a shoulder stand, that we are holding the back of the thoracics and we are lifting, and the shoulder blades are moving down and the shoulders are down also and into one another. So this is the shape that we are doing, but we are faking the shoulder stand, okay? So inhaling here and exhale. One last breath. Try to keep sending those shoulder blades down, and the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, bring them into one another. And then slowly release. And if you can, get yourself out of that lock. Good? Shake it a little. Super. All of these, again, a lot of work in the upper body. I'm going to keep that same loop, and we're going to use it for something else that I love, a twist that I really like, that it's also super beneficial for the shoulders. So now look at this. I'm going to hook my loop into the leg. So I'm putting it right inside, right? I'm putting my right knee inside the belt, and then what I'm doing is to put my shin and my thigh together. I'm going to hook them a little closer, right? With my loop, I'm closing it, and I'm keeping that buckle, that belt kind of like halfway in my leg. You can see it, I hope, okay? Now the trick of this posture is that I need to keep a little bit of the loop loose, because once I'm sitting tall and I have that, I'm going to send my left hand, which is the opposite of the leg where I have the belt, behind me, and I'm going to try and catch that belt. I hope you can see it. You see how my left hand is trying to catch that loop, okay? So if that loop feels too far to get, you will need to loosen it so you can go and catch it. Super. This is it. Now from here, I'm going to put my right hand into the left knee. I'm not going to face you, but then on the other side, you will see me. And what I'm doing here is lifting the spine as I inhale. And with the exhale, I'm moving that left shoulder further to the left. That left shoulder blade is moving into my body, behind my chest. So when I do that, my left hand is able to go a little further into that belt, right? So I'm opening a little bit more. My right hand is pressing gently into the left knee or thigh. And opposite than the left shoulder blade that it's moving into my body, the right one is moving away, right? Because it's doing a different movement. It's like opening to the side. So I'm not trying to force my right shoulder blade to move in, but the left one, yes, is coming in, and we'll add the last portion, which is the chin coming to the right, okay? Let's breathe in and out here for 2 breaths. The stomach, let's say your abdomen and chest, they are trying to go to the left, but my chin is coming to the right. My shoulder blade on the left side is moving behind my chest or towards my heart, and the right shoulder blade is loose, a little bit more opened up. Good, then we slowly come to center, release that left arm, oi, 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 and then shake it a little. Beautiful, last side. Now I'm moving that loop to my second side, last one. Now I'm hooking, I hope you can see, but now I'm on my opposite leg, right? And I hook that belt. Make sure that the buckle is not on your skin. And I leave a little bit of space there. I have a little bit of a loose belt so I can go and catch with my right hand. I'm sitting tall, last part, last side. We move that right arm all the way to the left. I'm going to catch that belt there. Now my right shoulder is the one that is forced, right? To move back and walk as far into your belt as you can. Once you have that, left hand to the right thigh or knee. Inhale, lift through the spine, roll the shoulders back first. And like I said before, as we move, now we are going to move abdomen and chest to the right, shoulder blade moving in behind the chest, but the left shoulder blade, I let it go a little bit softer and wider towards the left side, okay? Now from there, I'm inhaling, and with the exhale, I'm going to bring my chin to the left. There's a lot of different twists happening here, okay? So there's a lot of isolation of movement, which is extremely beneficial for our organs, but sometimes it takes some time, right, to get there. So breathe and try to let gravity also help you in grounding through the legs, lifting the spine, the back of the skull, and the chin staying to the left for the next couple of breaths. Good, then we slowly release the belt with your right hand, return to the center, shake it a little. Beautiful, let's take that belt out. Come out of your block. I know that your legs may be tired from this shape, so we are going to undo that so we reactivate or reanimate our legs. Move back and let's go to a downward facing dog, tucking the toes, a regular down dog. Awaken the legs if you need, if they feel a little sleepy. And then we go from there up and we push. Again, that sacrum up towards the skies. Push them away with your palms. Don't let the elbows bend. Lengthen the inner arms so your armpits open as well. Relax the head and the neck. Make them heavy. Once you get there and you feel stable, draw the pubic floor up and the ribs towards your navel, hips into one another, and try to also activate your glutes down towards your heels so the heels become heavy, okay? Deep inhale and exhale. Good. Let's go from here. If your feet are not hip distance apart, you can bring them a little closer. We'll inhale towards the plank pose. Draw the hips so they are in line with your shoulders. Lengthen the front spine. Let's go back to downward facing dog. Good. Again, inhaling plank. Exhaling back to down dog. And in the third one, we'll come a little further, going to the plank. Use your knees if you want to come down first or all the way down. Good, we're working our upper back, right? So we're going to bring the fingertips right off your mat so we have a little extra space. Roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades down. Draw the navel up to your nose, lift into the cobra shape. Extend through the legs. Exhale. Hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes. Up we go, downward facing dog. Good. And then bring your knees down, and I'm going to show you the next thing that we are doing. So I'm going to use my belt again for a standing posture. Ha! And in this one, I'm going to make the loop a little wider than what it was. I don't know exactly how bigger to tell you, but just widen it a little bit more, and then we'll keep adjusting it. Okay, so for this one, we need a little bit of work together, but it's also super good. So what I'm going to do is to start from standing. And let's see, because I want to show you. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is to start with my left leg in front, and I'm going to have my right leg behind. And the position that I'm going to be doing here, it's like when I do a warrior one. So my back leg is with the heel in and the toes like 45-degree angle or moving out towards the edge of my mat. That loop that I have, that I made, kind of long or midway, I'm going to hook it behind my right heel, okay? I'm going to say that I'm going to make my loop a little wider just in case, and then I'll play with it, just in case. Okay, so I have that. So I'm pushing into my right heel into the belt, and my left leg is in front, and I'm keeping my distance in between my legs is the hip distance apart so I don't feel wobbly like I'm going to fall, okay? Now I'm going to try, because it's like the warrior one, I'm going to try to bring my hips to face the front of my mat. And with both hands, I'm going to go and grab that loop. That's why you need a loop that you can get and hold it, right? Good. Now what I'm going to do here, keep pressing into that belt with your back heel, lift through the inner arches, and make sure that as you hold that belt, it's a little bit of a challenge, so it's making you send those shoulders back, lift through the front spine, and then we are going to bend the front knee. So you see how I'm doing like a warrior one, but I'm adding that belt so it helps me create more opening in the chest, shoulder blades down and towards one another. And I'm going a little further down into my belt so I can feel that opening there, okay? So now I'm going to try to really drop that front knee, draw the navel up towards the nose, send those shoulders back and down, and keep grabbing that belt as far down as you can. Now it's important to not lose the power in that back leg. So you want to lift that kneecap and that inner right thigh towards the ceiling. Keep bending the front knee if you can, opening through the chest, chin off the chest. One more breath. Good, and then slowly extend the front leg, loosen up there for the back leg so you can move out and take that belt out. Yay, super, second side. I'm gonna go like this so you can see me this time. Right leg goes in front, left leg goes behind, and now I'm going to put that loop right behind my left heel. Okay, so I'm trying to hook it there, and I'm pushing into that belt so it doesn't fall or it doesn't go up. And I'm keeping my legs at least hip distance, because this is not so much about how far can I go, how much can I open, but giving myself the space so I can work with the opening in the chest, okay? I'm gonna go and hold my belt again with both my hands. I'm trying to draw the navel up towards the nose, roll those shoulders back and down, same with the shoulder blades, and then once I'm there, I'm going to bend the front knee. Warrior one. Good, now I want you to really push into that back side of where the belt is, so the weight of the body doesn't go all the way to the front, right? You want to be like midway, so it's half on the back, half on the front. Push the back heel, press into the right big toe mount, draw the navel up from the pelvic floor up to the crown of the head, and keep walking your belt back down if you can. So we keep opening the shoulders, chest, collarbones. Breathe a few times and see if you can drop that front knee a little further. And each time you drop that front knee, you want that left leg to hug the bones a little more. One more breath. Good, push into the front leg, releasing a little bit here, and we soften and we let go. Yay, shake it, shake it. Good, super. We are going to keep this loop, but now I'm going to make it a little shorter. Last thing that we do before we come down to the mat. But for this one, I want you guys to take a block also, okay? So, again, same loop, same idea as before. I'm going to start, wait, because I want you to see me. I want you to start with the right leg in front. My block is to the left. It can be flat, it can be medium or tall, anywhere. And that belt now, I'm going to tuck my back toes, and that belt I'm going to put it in the heel of that left foot. Okay, that's it. And good. I have that, it's a little long. I'm going to make it a little shorter for me. I'm hooking that heel, and I'm going to hold the belt with my right hand. So now it is right hand to left heel, okay? That's what I'm doing for now. I'm going to push into that belt with my heel. My left hand is going to come into my block. And we're doing like a low lunge, right? And because I want you to be nicely supported, put that block as high as you need it, okay? So I'm putting my block there under my shoulder a little further. I'm rolling the shoulders back, and I'm pulling, of course, the belt with my right hand. So I can create this twist and also opening through the chest. Good. Now as I'm doing that, I'm going to send my right hip towards the back of my mat, press into your right heel. Here it comes, the challenge. Keep pushing with your heel into the belt and lift the back knee off the mat as much as you can. Ha, you didn't know that I was going to come with that. Good, so even if it doesn't lift all the way because like the belt is not letting you, keep pulling from the belt and try and lift that left knee as much as you can. Draw the belly up and keep walking your right hand into that belt so you can open the chest and the right shoulder more. Now spin the belly and the chest up to the ceiling. Push the block with the left hand. Inhale. Exhale. Draw that inner left thigh up. Right hip back. Good. Bring the left knee down and release that. Good. Let's come up. Last side. Yay. Let's go. Good. Now I'm going to take my belt so I can use it on my right heel. My block will come to the right. My left foot is in front. Okay, so now you're going to see the back side of the twist. I'm going to put my belt behind the right heel and I'm going to hold it. This time I'm holding the belt with my left hand. Yay, good. And my right hand is going onto my block. Okay, any height. And then I'm pushing with my heel into the belt. I'm pressing the left heel down. Press the base of your left big toe down to the floor. Good, now we start the twist. So I'm going to move belly and chest towards the left and I'm holding that belt, right? So I can open up a little more. Good, now from here, draw the navel up, send the left hip back, send the chest up. When you feel ready, pressing into the base of your right toes, start lifting the right knee off the mat and keep pulling from that belt so that left side opens up a little more. Good. Keep bending the front knee. Same as with the warrior one. The more you bend the front knee, the more you want to lift the right thigh. Squeeze the left glute. Send it back towards the back of your mat. Open up through the chest. Push that belt. Good. And slowly bring the right knee down. Take that belt out. Get out of there. Good. Sit back. Let's open the space. So take the block out. And we are going to take a child's pose. Knees wide. Sit back. Take the forehead down. Give yourself a minute to regroup and reset. Good. Keep breathing a couple of times. Two, three more breaths. Good. One more. Softening the breath, the skin. And then we slowly come up to a seat. Okay, I'm going to show you before we move down towards the end a nice opening and a different version of a bridge pose that I find really nice to open up, and it has to do with all the work that we did today. But for this one that I'm going to show you, you need a baseboard or a place where you can push into the wall. It doesn't have to be high, but you need a baseboard or some kind of wall. But if not, you're going to do something else, and I'll show you what. So if you do have a baseboard, or maybe it's like the end of a dresser or something like that, I'm going to show here at my wall. What I'm going to do is to put both my blocks flat and long into that baseboard. I need them so, like, I need the baseboard so I can push into it without the blocks moving. That's mainly what I need, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. If not, you're going to do a bridge pose without the blocks, the regular way. But this one, I think you're gonna like it. And this is 2 blocks at the wall, And I'm also going to take, again, my belt. And again, I'm going to do the loop that is shoulder to shoulder. This one is a little wide. So again, I'm going to find that space between shoulders, or maybe armpit to armpit, just a little bit like that, okay? Good. So special version. Blocks at the wall, and the blocks are going to be supporting my feet. So you want the blocks to be more or less hip distance apart, so you can put your feet there. Okay, this is the beginning. My feet are on top of the blocks, and the blocks are stopped by my wall so they don't go anywhere. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I'm going to come down like if I wanted to go into a bridge pose, which is what we are going to do. Roll the shoulders down, move the shoulder blades towards each other, and make sure that you have a good support in your blocks so you can press into them for when we lift into the bridge pose. Now, because this bridge will work a little bit more into the opening of the chest, I'm going to use this loop that I made that it was shoulder distance apart. The way to get into this is that we need to kind of like halfway work on it. So what am I going to do here is I'm going to set only one arm inside my loop, okay? And I'm going to put it above my elbow. And then when I start lifting, I'm going to hook my second arm inside. So it goes like we did in the very beginning when we put the belt behind us and we were practicing the shape of the shoulder stand. Same idea. I'm going to press into the blocks. I'm going to show you if you want to watch it. I'm going to press into the blocks. I'm lifting like if I'm going into the shoulder stand or the bridge pose. And then that belt that I have on one arm, I'm going to put down my second arm inside. So both my elbows, again, they can bend, and I have that belt behind my chest. So I'm pushing into the blocks and walking my shoulder blades into one another. And like I did in the beginning when we were sitting, I'm going to try and send my hands right behind my chest, or as high as I can go. Maybe it's the waistline, okay? So this feels good because it gives a lot of opening in your collarbones, a lot of opening in the chest. My belt is a little wide for me. But it also helps you not move your elbows much, right? Because you're breaking into the belt with the elbows. Don't move the head though, like I did, it's not a good idea. And press into the blocks, send the sacrum in so you can lift the hips a little higher. Opening the chest, pressing into the blocks with the inner heels, activating the glutes, hips up, and take a few breaths. Softening the face, trying to keep that breath steady. And then slowly, when you feel ready, release the arms first. Bring the torso down for a moment. Stay there. Just set it down for a second. I know the arms are still trapped, but give yourself a moment to come down. Then if you want, you push again into the block so you can lift and hook that belt and return to the floor or the mat, okay? Take a moment there. Good, and now from here, what we are going to do, so we reset the lower back after this big back bend, is to cross one shin over the other like the Sukhasana or the easy sit. Catch your feet and bring them in towards you. It's like when we sit in that cross-leg position, but upside down. So press the feet towards you and breathe into the lower back. One more breath. Good, then let's switch legs. Now put the opposite leg on top, crossing again like the cross-leg position, bring the feet in. One more breath. Good, then slowly release that and put the feet down. Good, let's roll over to the side and press up so we can remove the belt. right? If you found that baseboard and you have a place where you can put your legs up the wall, this is a very good moment to do that. And you can even finish your practice like that. If you don't have that, just come onto your mat and let's move towards Shavasana. So supine, you can just find your place on your mat and maybe just rock from side to side a little bit by holding your legs. You can also keep both your legs to one side for a breath or two, and then the same for the second side. Remember that if you are taking the legs up, to stay there until the end of the rest, you really want to have support, right? So a wall or some column or something that supports your legs. Good. Now we slowly return to stillness. We pause. And we have the opportunity to integrate the gifts of this practice into our physical layer, our energetic sheath, our thoughts, our emotions, our soul. As we let gravity bring us back to earth, we soften, we settle, and we let go of attachments and aversion. Receive a deep inhalation through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. Take your time to slowly reconnect to your body, the place you're in. Wiggle your fingers, move your toes. Gradually add the movement that your body is asking for without forcing, no jerky movements, just soft to bring yourself back in awareness to your own body. And keeping your face soft, the eyes kind. Take the time you need until you feel ready to bend the knees. Place perhaps your feet on the floor or the mat, or bring them towards the chest, roll over to one side, and then pressing up, we'll find the seat that will close this journey together today. Again, an opportunity to find balance between the bones that are heavy and grounded into your support and the ones that are lighter and help you lift up and create space. We soften the skin. We bring the palms together in gratitude to the heart center. And as we sit for the last moment, noticing body, thoughts, energy, emotions, and breath, we wish for all beings to be free from suffering, to move away from attachment and aversion, and to find joy and peace, including ourselves. In gratitude to all our teachers, and for this practice, we bow in. Namaste.